Hi everyone, what's up and welcome back to my channel. I'm April Whitney. I am a petite women's health specialist. I'm a certified nutritionist and personal trainer. And today I want to talk about all of the eating habits that kept me 10 pounds heavier than I am today and how I changed them. Now, I was reflecting on why I was 10 pounds heavier 5, 6, 7 years ago, and there's very clear habits that I used to have that I don't have now. And I really think these are things that a lot of fitness influencers will not share because they're trying to appear a certain way. But I just want to be totally honest with you guys and show you what my habits looked like back then that I really believe were keeping me 10 pounds heavier versus today, and talk about how you can change some of them to help you start to move that needle in the direction that you want to go in terms of your fat loss goals. So if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more content tailored to short women, and let's get into the video. So I want to start by painting a picture for you for where I was back in 15 through 18. So I was working a corporate job in Manhattan, and I was in a very different place. I was, first of all, on the one hand side, training to go to the Olympics, hopefully. I was Olympic hopeful at the time. And the dark side of that athletic career was how unhealthy I really was and how stuck I felt in my habits. And I want the focus of this video to be eating habits specifically, because when it comes to your fat loss goals, nutrition is really the key, most important thing. You do need to strength train, definitely, but your eating habits will determine if you're really able to show the muscle that you've built underneath through, because you gotta burn that layer of fat on top. So I was working a very busy schedule. My stress levels were high. I was not sleeping well. I was over caffeinated. I was not eating well, and I was over exercising. So there was a lot wrong in my life at the time, and I was very out of balance. So that's where I was back then. And here's all of the things that I was doing at the time that I really feel like, and I know, were keeping me a little bit heavier than I wanted to be. First of all, the biggest one was I was not training for my body type. So you guys know I'm 5'1", and I spent most of my life just like trying so hard to lose weight through cardio and under eating. I was running so much back then. I was way over exercising, running, and exercising up to 3, 4, 5, 6 hours a day with my training combined with, basically I was training in the morning and at night, doing cardio, not a lot of strength training. I didn't have a lot of muscle mass, so my body composition was mostly fat that I was carrying, and I didn't have a lot of tone or definition as a result of doing a lot of cardio, overtraining, and eating poorly. One of the biggest things that kept me there was not strength training. I was not focusing on building muscle, which helps you burn more fat in the long run, because when you have more muscle, you burn more calories around the clock. So off the bat, the biggest one that I have to say is the habit that just kept me stuck, the number one, was that I was completely stuck in this like tall girl workout plan of like, I wanna be skinny and do a bunch of cardio and restrict my calories. And I really thought that that was going to help me lose weight, when it never did over the whole course of my life. And if I did manage to lose a few pounds from restriction, I gained it back because I was so hungry. The second habit, eating habit, that kept me from losing weight was that I was afraid of eating like a full meal. And as a result, I just grazed on food all day. So if I did skip breakfast, which I did a lot, and that could even be its own point in itself, I would go on to eat a really small lunch or a salad, something like that, and just graze on food the rest of the day. I didn't want to sit down and have too many calories in one sitting because I was worried I would gain weight. So I just kind of like ate whatever was around the office in like small bites, like a little piece of fruit here, some nuts there, whatever's in the vending machine, like little packets of things, whatever they were serving at like happy hour, appetizers, but I would not commit to a meal. And as a result, not only did this habit kind of result in me never feeling happy because I couldn't really enjoy food or let myself enjoy it, but when you're just grazing on calories and food all day, you never give your body a chance to just not be digesting. So it keeps your blood sugar levels raised, which means you're always processing sugars. So you're always storing sugars, you're always storing fat. You wanna have breaks between your meals so you can just digest, clean it out, and your body can go back to a baseline. And in order to do that, you gotta eat a substantial meal. So I now have switched to eating actual meals for 3 to 4 4 times a day and they're substantial. You know, I'm eating upwards of 500 calories in a meal, making sure it keeps me full and satiated and I'm not just like grazing on food all day. Another thing that this does is if you're just grazing on food all day, I can promise you you're not eating enough protein, because it's very hard to graze on foods that are high in protein. Like, think about the last time you went to snack and you like were intentional about it. Like, it's pretty hard to accidentally eat a bunch of protein. You really do have to think about it and plan it, whether you're eating like hard-boiled eggs or you're having a protein shake or you're having cottage cheese or yogurt parfait. Like, those are all protein forward options that you're likely not grazing on. Those are things you have to like plan into your day, or it's a dedicated snack that is high in protein. So the third thing that I was doing that was keeping me from losing weight was definitely just eating a low protein diet as a result of all of my grazing throughout the day and fear of eating food. When you eat a low protein diet, you can't build muscle, and it also protein, it burns more calories when you're digesting it than fat or carbohydrates. So it's just a really great way to be keeping your metabolism running throughout the day and to keep you full and satiated and help you build muscle, which helps you burn more calories at rest. So I was eating a pretty low protein diet, but really had no idea. The fourth thing I did eating wise that was holding me back was I was eating all of the health foods, and I was eating what I thought was healthy in the stores, as well as low fat options. Now, I thought low fat was healthier before I became a nutritionist, because it just seemed like fat was bad and I shouldn't eat it, right? It just seems like that would make sense, and it's how things are advertised to us. The problem is low fat products are actually more processed, and they pump a bunch of other things into the food which increase their carbohydrate content. So even if it's a lower fat, you are not really saving calories because they've increased the carbohydrate content. There's no such thing as free calories, and they're pumped with a bunch of stuff you don't want, and the carbohydrates are just sugars. So you're not really getting a good trade-off. What I do today, which is much more helpful, is I have the full fat option, but a smaller portion. And this keeps me full and satiated, and it keeps things healthy, because you do want the healthy fats, you want the full fats in a smaller quantity rather than having the unhealthy, like low fat processed option. And I ate a lot of low fat foods in that time period. Something I also did back in this time, I would say number 5 here, I had this eating habit of after an extreme workout, just feeling like I could eat whatever I wanted. And I would eat very typically things like the reduced fat blueberry muffins from Dunkin' Donuts and the like wraps at Starbucks, like the egg wraps, and just stuff that was, I thought, like a healthier choice. But if you're eating it every day, it is going to be hard to lose weight. It's much easier to cook things yourself and have control over what is in them, you know, less processed sugars, more protein, less oils, than to do these fast food options. And I would eat these as breakfast, which was not a great way to set yourself up for the day, because they're pretty high in sugar, and then it just causes sugar crashes all throughout the day. I would also have cereals for breakfast a lot. I no longer really eat cereal. There's just like no nutritional content in most cereals, even the crazy ones that are out today. I just also would just after workouts like be like, oh, I can have this mac and cheese from the Whole Foods bar, or I can have this, but I would do it every day. And when what you do every day is going to show up in your body composition, what you do occasionally is part of life and balance and enjoyment. But we're talking about habits, which are your daily things. And if you get in the habit of eating mac and cheese after every single workout, it might not be the healthiest thing for you, depending on the portion size and what else you've eaten throughout the day. In my case, it was not healthy because I was eating a big portion and I was eating it often, and I would just eat back the calories that I had burned off. Something else, this I would say eating but kind of drinking habit I had back then, whenever I got home from work, you know, after a long day or my days off or after practice, I would have like a glass of wine or a cider or something, an alcoholic beverage, and I justified it, saying like, I deserve it, whatever. And when you drink alcohol every day, not only does your liver never get a break from the detoxing, but you are just adding empty calories that had no nutritional value, you know, no fiber, no protein, and no energy from that. It also just made me feel like garbage. Like you can tell that back then there were so many things playing into my life, and I was super stressed. I'm sure my cortisol levels were not good. I didn't sleep well, and I had a slew of unhealthy eating habits that made all this made it all, you know, feel like garbage every day. And drinking alcohol every day, even if it was like a 4-ounce glass, did contribute to that. So today I try to drink a lot less often. You guys know I've been through periods where I was basically sober, and now I've been enjoying some wine more recently since moving to Austin and exploring the wine down here, but I still am drinking, you know, 2 to 3 times a week max, and it's not a daily thing. Eating habit number 7, I think I've lost count by now. This list, honestly, that I have it has like 20 things on it, but we're not gonna do all 20. So if we're on 7, hopefully we're on 7. The 7th eating habit that kept me from losing weight, I always was focused on finding quick fixes and had a lot of anxiety around food instead of just being a healthy person on a daily basis, which is easier said than done. But back then I would do juice cleanses, I did keto, I did intermittent fasting. I was always looking for what's going to get me feeling amazing in 48 hours, 24 hours by the weekend. And I had a lot of time getting out of that mentality. If you want to be a healthy person, it's just your daily habits. So you're not looking for quick fixes for the weekend. You know they won't really help in the long run. And you get to a point where you just have to get out of that mentality that, you know, 1 meal or 4 meals is going to fix all of your problems. It's really about living the you know, taking care of your body, loving your body enough to have healthier habits on a day-to-day basis. And obviously this took me a few years to change and get out of that food anxiety, that relationship with food, the restriction cycle. But if I look at what has changed, that's a really big one. Like, I'm no longer looking towards these quick fixes or looking for what's the thing that's gonna fix me. I need to, like, you know, lose 5 pounds in 5 days. I'm much more centered on like every day being even keeled, balance. If I do have a goal, I need to, you know, save 3 months for it, not a weekend. And I'll finish with this one. As a petite woman, we can overeat in calories very easily from foods that give us no nutritional value, or they give us very little nutritional value. And I did a lot of this as a short woman. So I ate a ton of dressings on salads. I ate like the bread before dinner that came at restaurants. I basically never said no to the extras. And these extras can be the difference really in those 10 pounds. And I'm not saying get rid of the extras all the time, but if you have this weight loss goal, as a petite woman, you're not getting a lot of bang for your buck with salad dressings or like tahini, stuff that's really high in calories but not very filling, doesn't have a lot of fiber. So when I kind of halved those, even just having, not cutting them out, I saw that it was I felt better, and also I was getting calories from things that would actually keep me full, like vegetables and things that are higher in fiber and will go a longer way for you as a shorter woman than these dressing stuff that's like a low volume but high calorie and doesn't keep you full. And my habits were like riddled with those types of behaviors, those types of foods and dressings and like, you know, stuff that just doesn't get you very far. Actually, I will have a special mention here. I don't want to go too in depth into it because I'm not able to speak on medical terms about this, but I struggled with overeating a lot, not to the point of a diagnosis of binge eating, but you guys know I struggled with, I just call it binge eating because it was eating a large amount of calories in a period of time, a short period of time. And binge eating was a habit that I had for many years that I feel kept me from experiencing food freedom. It kept me always adding weight and then having to lose it, because if you just keep binging, you do add the pounds even if it's followed by a phase of restriction or lowering calories. So if you're struggling with binge eating, I feel for you. This is something I struggled with a lot. If you're struggling with this, I highly recommend the book Brain Over Binge. My camera died, but we are right at the end of the video, so I'm just gonna wrap up here. That book helped me a lot, so you can check that out if that's something you've struggled with. I hope that this was helpful for you guys, and I'd love to hear which of those habits you feel that you are struggling with, if any. As a petite, these little things do add up, and they really did change my life when I started to replace them with better habits. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like to support my channel, join the short girl community, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.